Does that mean we're live?
Yep.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Almost Legal Podcast. It is Wednesday, my dudes. I am joined today by Josh Bax. I know I don't have a lot of energy. I'm trying to be real monotoned. No, I'm joined again from the Underground Birmingham episode, Josh Box.
Hey, guys.
And the producer type guy, Brian. No, the reason I wanted to have on is not only was the Underground Birmingham episode very intriguing. Not a lot of people knew we had a damn ant farm the size of Texas underneath Birmingham.
I thought you were going to say your mom.
I didn't know. I didn't want to go there.
You could have.
I could have. It was too easy.
Hey, before we get started, Josh, I've got a question.
Yeah, ask me.
What is this? I mean, I know it's a pineapple.
It's RAB. Rebecca Blair Ankasine. It's my wife's initials.
So does she have a fetish with pineapples?
I guess. She loves it. That's our safe word. So
Oh, okay.
no, but yeah, I didn't want to take that. Even though I don't always take the high road. A buddy of mine posted something saying somewhere in Los Angeles they named a highway after Barack Obama. And I was like, I got to take it. So I commented, I go, why? So you drive for 8 years and don't get anywhere?
Damn.
It was on a platter. I was like, I had to.
That's pretty bad.
It really is. No, but from seeing, other than, Underground Birmingham, and describe what Underground Birmingham is for people that maybe not have seen that episode.
I'm sure the two viewers that... No, I'm just playing, Josh.
All 13 of them.
13. No, I mean, Underground Birmingham, it's a buddy of mine, Jeff Newman. We go around and we explore the abandoned mines, from the 1800s that shuttered and, anywhere from the 1800s to 1970s. And we just preserve and document the history, from the decaying tombs within. And have a pretty good following. We've got over 14,000 followers on Facebook. And,
Are you still finding new stuff?
Oh, yeah.
Are y'all stretching it? Because I know you said you haven't been, how deep, in percentage of the deepest, darkest tunnel, how deep have y'all gone in percentage of
As far say you have 100% of a mine, the amount that you can explore probably ranges anywhere from 5 to 10% because the majority of the mine is underwater. Because as soon as they pull those pumps out, water just zoomed in and, it's just a flooded abyss down there. We've been in over 30 mines, and, there's countless drift mines. I mean, there's over, 100 drift mines out there. As far as stretching it out, no. I mean, because there's always more angles, more passages that you can traverse and explore. And every time you go in there, I mean, you see something new. It's just a fun hobby, but I mean, it's not all we do.
So that's what it is a hobby.
Yeah.
It's really cool. Are you fascinated at finding old historical stuff?
Oh yeah, I mean, it's cool to see that pretty much preserved because no one's stupid enough outside of us two to go in these things. It's a death trap. So if you're watching children, well, I can't say that because I've taken my kids into a couple of them. So don't go into a mine unless you have someone with experience.
Right, and I'm glad you brought that up because obviously you have to know the right person to get into the mine shafts. But how do you gain access? Because I see pictures all over the place of you, random areas, random locations. How do you get access to that? Because they have YouTube channels of people, exploration channels where they're going to abandoned places.
Well, it's basically called Urbex, and I've been involved with Urbex for over a decade. So with the historic tax credits going on, a lot of business owners will actually reach out to me, and before they renovate the building, they'll be like, "Hey, you want to come out and document this? We've got a lot of stuff still in here." I'm like, "Yeah, we'll come out there and check it out." But the thing about Urbex, there's different ways you can do Urbex. You know, some people actually break and enter. You know, I mean, it's you'll see them go around with a what do you call it, bolt cutters?
And just go cut locks.
Yeah. Which, you know, to
Probably
me,
frowned upon.
Yeah, well, I mean, by me it is. What I like to do, I mean, as far as trying to track down the property owner, a lot of these places, there's no property owner. You're not going to get permission to go into these places because it's
kind of owned by the state, kind of deal.
Yeah, by the state, city, whoever, but they don't care. And a lot of these places, they were pillars in the community where, you see this iconic building and it's just sitting there abandoned. And like all these people, yeah, my grandmother used to work there, it's, my dad, worked on the 4th floor. So I'm like, okay, I see a window open on the 4th floor. Let me scale up the side of the building and get in there. And that's pretty much what Urbex is to me. You don't break into something, but if you see a window ajar or you see a way in, broken window,
then you just kind of play naive if something comes. Like, I didn't know. I was just walking and saw this place.
Like I said, I've been doing this over 10 years, and I've been approached by the cops twice. And I ended up giving them a tour of the building.
Well, yeah.
So, I mean, it's...
Well, obviously, when they see, you have cameras and
right.
stuff, they're not thinking you're up to no good.
Exactly.
Being a hooligan,
Right. And then, I mean, they can sit there and run my record. I mean, it's,
pristine.
Pristine. Almost like
Urbex,
this.
is it URBEX, like urban exploration?
Yeah, urban exploration.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, that's what it's called. Urbex for short. I guess that's what the cool people call it. But yeah, Urbex, urban exploration. It's fun. When I started having all those sports injuries, I kind of needed an avenue to detach from sports because when I'm out there playing, I'm out there competitive. I give everything I have, and which is good and bad. But when you physically can't get out there because you have a torn hamstring or a torn ACL,
right.
You have to find another passion to pursue, and
with that same effort,
right,
kind of because if you don't use it somewhere, it's gonna like kind of bottle it up. That's how I am. I'm very competitive. I always have to do stuff. So like just adding things to just fill that void, so I don't become a psychopath or something. I don't know if that's what happens, but I'm no scientist or psychologist or whoever diagnoses those things.
Yeah.
So if you have a holy grail of things that you could explore, say
outside of your mom,
outside.
Sorry to keep bringing your mom in this, man.
God, I'm serving it up, man. No, like
So
I don't know.
she.
If you got like
Holy Grail, man, that's tough. I was able to check off a very high on my list, the abandoned Jazzland, Six Flags New Orleans. That was shuttered after Katrina hit.
right.
I mean, it was under 8 feet of water. And just to traverse and just walk the grounds, climb roller coasters.
It's still in pretty good condition.
Yeah, I mean, it's...
albeit, obviously, it's not going to be mint. But
No, well, I mean, put it this way. You couldn't decide... 90% of the rides, you can't be repaired. Because they were under,
Salt water.
Salt water and just
Corroded,
it didn't survive the elements, but as far as the detail and things that you can still see and photograph within, even though it's not working, I mean, it's still a very beautiful place.
Right.
But it's they've had many ideas to bring it back and make the property something else. And it's just it's never going to happen.
It's hard to find financial backing, especially in that location.
Right,
Louisiana's not a lot of money.
Yeah, and this is in East New Orleans too. So I mean, it's
right before the bridge.
Right. I mean, this is you've got Ninth Ward. I mean, it's it's an Urbex pinnacle.
Right.
Abandoned funeral homes are my favorite though. I mean,
I saw that.
That seems pretty creepy.
Right. Yeah.
It's awesome.
I was going to bring that up. I was going to bring up a video you posted, and you were like, I don't know, it looked like a bunker maybe, and they had like old food and rationings.
yeah.
Where was that at?
That was downtown Birmingham. That was
Was it an actual bunker? Was that what it was?
It was an actual bunker. But let me tell you
Can
guys.
you tell me where that's at? Or
It's I mean, do you want like the street address?
no,
or,
like is it
it's
hidden?
on 2nd Avenue North underground in the middle of downtown Birmingham.
is it a fallout shelter? Like what is it?
It's a fallout shelter.
Is it hidden?
It's underground, Josh. So yeah, it's
I know, but like
it's pretty hidden.
well, I don't know if there's like here fallout shelter this way.
No, I mean it's
You have to know about it, basically.
it's
That's what I was asking.
Yeah, you know, places like that, it's like you've got to know who's got the keys to it, and you know that's one of those. It just if you don't know somebody, you're not going to get in.
Right.
You're not even going to know it's there.
Right, exactly. That's amazing. So that's basically untouched for how many years you think?
I mean, the date on the medication, penicillin, I think 69.
Whew.
So yeah, I mean it's
Good year.
Yeah. It's mine and your mom's favorite year.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to leave your mom alone because
It's okay.
my mom, my wife's probably watching the podcast.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You mean it in a good Christian way, a
Oh,
good
yeah,
respectful
absolutely.
way,
A good
of course.
Pentecostal way.
Yeah, no doubt. Oh, no, I'll get in that later. No,
Speaking tongues to her.
Yes.
but now you should have bought a Honda. No, you an Alabama fan?
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
What you think about the Tide
As far as playing Oklahoma,
in general? Yeah.
I mean, I think it's a pretty damn well coached football team. You can tell Saban doesn't do that daddy ball stuff that we were talking about earlier. You know, he holds his players accountable for their actions. You know, you go out there, it doesn't matter if the score is 80-20. You know, you go out there and you make a bad play, you're going to hear about it.
Well, it seems like he gets more upset when they're dominating, and then you see, or maybe it's more emphasized because you're like, dude, he's still coaching, and they're winning by 4.5 touchdowns.
He's never satisfied, which makes him so good.
Right. But I think
It's when you get complacent, though. That's when
exactly.
That's when you get a Mac Brown situation or a Bowden situation.
Right. But Oklahoma, I mean, Oklahoma's got a pretty good football team.
No defense.
No
Good
defense.
offense.
No defense.
Let's say they have a good offense.
They do, but at the same time, if you watch them play against West Virginia, you know, West Virginia should have won that game, but they ended up 2 turnovers. You know, so I mean, it's like the defense stepped up every time the defense stepped up when they needed to step up.
It was like 56-50.
Yeah, I know, but the 14
When
of
it
those,
mattered most.
It really
14
is.
of those are from the
when you have an
defense.
offense when you have an offense like that, all your defense really needs to do is make key stops.
Right, and that is especially what they did against West Virginia.
But if you have a defense that can do more than key stops,
Right. They're not going to stop Alabama. But we've seen, I mean, you know, Alabama, yeah, they still have, the number 2 defense in the nation?
but I don't think that matters because look at the thorn in Saban's side. What quarterback/offenses have always
Exactly.
gave him the trouble? A dual threat quarterback, Johnny Manziel.
Right.
You know, just Sean Watson. Sean Watson's a freak. So
He is.
now I'm excited.
Insert mom joke.
I think Saban should employ the dual quarterback.
Like with
I
both?
guess, yes.
With Hurts?
Say that they're both going to play, so that way Oklahoma doesn't really know how to prepare. 'cause
They're
you can't
already preparing.
Well, their defense
They're already
sucks anyway,
thinking
so
that
it's-
But
mentally.
still, that would just give them even more of a headache.
But look, Hurts is gone. I mean, you know, he graduated. I mean, Hurts is gone.
He's got one more
power to
year.
him. Yeah, but he's not going to play at Alabama next year. I'll guarantee you that.
He might not.
He'll
Who
probably
knows?
be at LSU if I had to guess.
That'd be sweet.
I think he's going to be at a competitive school. I don't think he's going to go like most every Alabama. Oh, let's go to Georgia Southern or Georgia State. You know, whichever Georgia team it is. He's going to go to a high-profile school.
That'd be a good fit in LSU.
It would be.
Do you think he'd
And-
do that to Alabama?
Yeah.
I don't think.
I mean,
I do
I
too.
don't think he would do it to Alabama, but I think he's got to look out for himself. So if that's the best
Oh,
situation
that's a great
for him,
fit.
you
I
know,
never even thought about
they've
that.
got to have somebody.
I don't think Bama fans will take it personally either.
No, not at all. I mean,
No,
you know,
they gotta love Jalen.
Yeah.
How happy were you for Jalen in the SEC championship?
I was happy for
That was
him.
like a storybook ending.
It was. I mean, I was still pissed off Jalen got hurt or Tua got hurt, but I'm like,
I was more pissed that
okay.
I was like, he just lost to Heisman. He looked so terrible.
But at the same time, you know, what I don't understand, look, the Heisman is a body of work. So you've got 10, 11 games that
Where
you
he
can
looked
compare.
flawless, yeah.
And not
But
only
I think
that,
it was that close that's all that mattered.
No, because I mean, the 2 games before that, it was, you know, it's not even close. It's, you know, it's Tua. And then, you know, I mean, you've got this kid, no doubt he's a stud, but who do they play? Look at the defenses they play.
Oh yeah,
Tua doesn't
I
play in the
agree.
fourth
I agree
quarter.
both on both
I
sides.
mean, it's I don't know. I just think that's going to give Tua some motivation. And what sucks though, I mean, Oklahoma always seems to have Alabama's number.
Stoops.
Yeah, Stoops.
I was
Stoops.
telling Josh this. I don't know if you can see this side like he does. I didn't think Tua had the Heisman because he wasn't put in one of those situations all year.
But I feel like it's going to be recency bias, if that's even a thing.
It is.
From
It
the
is.
national championship. That was
that was
moment.
last year. The
But
Heisman is year to year.
I know, but I'm saying people vote on it.
Oh, I understand.
See what I'm saying? It's not a system. That recency bias of he did this as a freshman, so he's the that's
can
his
see that side,
the test of all tests. He came in second half down by 13 and drove them back to win with a game-winning bomb after getting sacked. People remember that.
I mean,
it just happened.
He's so good. I mean, he never had to be tested.
Right, which I think is another reason why that one game meant so much. Because they dominated so much and he played so little in the fourth quarter, him playing that bad at that moment, it emphasized it even more.
But he was injured. I mean, he was like
Well, I know.
60% getting the start over Jalen.
Oh, no,
So, I mean, it's like, you've got Jalen, who's the second best quarterback in the nation,
Oh, yeah.
and you got a 60% Tua, and he's starting over the second best quarterback in the nation. I mean, hands down, everyone knows Tua is the man.
Yeah.
Everyone knows that
Oh,
he's
I'm the biggest
Heisman.
Tua supporter.
He's the
I'm just
best
kind of-
quarterback out there. It's not even close.
I'm telling you, like, what I think the voters were
Oh,
thinking.
yeah. I mean,
Because I've said multiple times, I think the dream scenario is Saints win the Super Bowl, Breeze retires, Saints suck, and draft Tua.
That would be pretty tight.
that would be good. It's still going to be hard to pull me from my Seahawks, though.
Oh, yes.
I
love
Only
Russell Wilson.
one.
I love Russell
Seahawks,
Wilson.
Yeah, Russell Wilson, but
I respect Matt.
even before that, it was Sean Alexander. But of course, I was always a Seattle Mariners fan with Junior, Randy
A-Rod.
Johnson, A-Rod.
Oh, that was the golden years.
That was. We beat the damn Yankees, but we could never put it together and win a World Series. We've got all the talent, but it's like, hey, Cano's going to go out there and just do drugs and get suspended.
Yeah, he's out with the Mets now. I think he just got dealt to the Mets.
Yep. But, I mean, it's the thing about Seattle, I mean, that's the most traveled baseball team. Nobody wants to go
No
there.
doubt.
Nobody wants to go there, which I don't understand. I mean, they have a beautiful stadium, Safeco Fieldhouse, and it's just tough for them to be able to acquire and retain top-level talent out there.
I understand that. I understand that.
sucks.
It does suck. It does suck. It does suck.
But, I still have my Ken Griffey Jr. baseball cards, and
He's like my generation. He might have
yeah.
bled into yours. He's like the MJ of baseball.
Yep.
I just want to know who's that one douchebag that didn't vote him into the Hall of Fame. See what there's like 60, however many votes. There's like 59 of them.
I had to be a damn Yankees fan.
Some douchebag.
I guarantee you.
He's like, screw this guy.
Probably still salty, from.
Am I correct? I think there's never been a unanimous Hall of Fame decision.
I think
for the
that's why he
baseball?
did it.
That's
He's
probably
like,
why
well,
he did it.
Yeah. He's like, nope.
But
Derek Jeter ought to be the first. I mean, there's no way that anyone can say
He's the Tim
I mean,
Tebow of MLB. Derek Jeter.
yeah, I mean,
Like he's not like a Tom Brady or Drew Brees or something like legit. He's just a solid. He had the best career. I'd say.
yeah, I would agree with that. But Junior, you could tell he didn't use PEDs any because he peaked and he went downhill fast.
Well, injuries. He was
Injuries, yeah. I mean, he. But it's like Mark Wires. When you're out there taking all those substances and all that, you stay healthy. Barry Bonds. I mean, that
helps recovery.
Right. And
I think they need more steroids in baseball.
I agree. 100%. Pete Rose should be in the Hall of Fame. Look, because at the end of the day, it's what is exciting to the fans. Home runs, because guess what? If you're hitting a home run off a pitcher, you still have a center fielder out there that's jacked up on steroids that can jump 10 feet and catch the
regardless
ball.
of how strong or whatever you are, it's still scientifically impossible to hit a baseball.
Right.
You have
to see the
0.3
ball,
of a
hit the ball.
second to make like 5 decisions and then swing.
Yeah, that's
Hope one of
that's
them's
when
right.
homework. That is when homework comes in because
Right.
it's like I try to tell the kids, it's especially when they get to kids pitch and kids learn change ups, fastballs, curveballs. It's a guessing game. You've got to know. Okay, I've got an 0-2
Tendencies,
count
right.
or a 3-0 count. What pitch is coming? And you got to guess.
And then it just evolves from there.
Exactly.
Because then pitchers are as you get more advanced and advanced and advanced, the pitchers know the hitters are thinking that.
Right.
So then you're going to be mixing that up. So then that's
the
when
beauty about
actual
baseball.
film study goes in when you get to like the major leagues and you get, okay, what's his tendencies?
Yep.
Or his tells, because some pitchers
Or
you can-
tells.
yeah.
They'll do tells, they'll do it all.
Different wind up, different.
His left
yep.
nut's hanging a little lower today. His slider's going to be hot, guys. It's deep. It really is. But no, like I think I made this reference. It might have been the last episode or episode before. I was like, baseball like a strike away from being soccer.
It is. It's hard to watch on TV if you have never played the game or you don't understand how the game is to be played. Because there's a lot more moving parts and a lot more thinking than just, hey, let's go down here and, of course, basketball is my love. Basketball is my sport. But baseball, it's a thinking game. That's strategy. I mean, it's beautiful.
It's just, but it's so boring to watch on TV.
It is.
And it's a damn shame. That's what I should say.
Well, it's kind of like golf. Golf's fun to get out there and hit the ball. But I mean, as far as watching it, I mean, unless Tiger's on there making a charge, it's hard to watch.
Yeah. See, let's see. This is 80 episodes ago. I did and I'm going to ask you this question. And the title of the episode was 90s sports abnormally epic, or was it just the mindset that's going on right now? I'm just in it, so I don't see it. Because think about baseball. Sosa, King Griffey Jr. and Barry Bonds, Mark McGwire, Cal Ripken Jr., all of them.
That's true, but also, I mean, I think 90s sports will always be the pinnacle because you didn't have the technology that we have now.
Right.
Where it's like, yeah, baseball's on, but I can also watch this, or I can watch this. I can watch, this game that's overseas that I put $500,000 on to bet.
That's just baseball. Not even getting into basketball or football. You got Deion Sanders, Jerry Rice, Randy Moss, Peyton Manning, Brett Favre, John Elway.
But that's what you watch because there was no other, there was no Bird Box back then.
Right. But
there was no Netflix. I mean, it was like you had sports.
I'm just saying stars and just greats as a whole. When you think of all the greats that came,
I think it was top heavy back then. I think there's more talent.
Okay, I could see that.
But there's more talent that's distributed now than versus back then. Because you had MJ, Stockton, Malone, a couple of other guys, but
more Michael Jordan.
But Dennis Rodman. Come on, if Dennis Rodman was out there playing right now, dude's coming off the bench. I'm sorry, I don't care how many rebounds you get, the dude's coming off the bench.
I honestly look. I could see. Okay, I see that argument. I just think the greats. There was a big divide between the great and your average players back then. Right. But now I just can't stand when someone says, like my dad, for example, when he says, "Oh, this team from this era would dominate this team."
It's hard to compare.
They're so much more physical. I'm like, Dad, they're physical specimens right now.
Right.
I had a youth coach who played center for the New Orleans Saints, and he was 5'10", 220, 240. There's no way he wouldn't even. He'd be a water boy.
Right. But look, you've got to look at it. Not only do you have the technology as far as film work, studying, you also have years and decades of understanding the human body, the anatomy, and putting
the perfect amount of training.
Exactly, without overdoing it. So, I mean, it's... And at the same time, you can't compare, the 90s versus the 2000s because the game is called differently.
Called differently. It's played different, completely different game. I'm just saying, if you look at it, when I think of the greats from any of these sports, they all came from that one era. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Who I think the greatest DB of all time, Deion Sanders. Yep. Greatest receiver of all time.
But of course, adversely, that's who you grew up watching.
Exactly. And that's why I tied in that last statement. Yeah. Or am I in this right now? I'm just in it, looking at it in different perspectives.
I think it's a little bit of both. Deion Sanders, would he still be as effective today against the receivers out there, or playing against quarterbacks like Drew Brees that can just, hit the head of a nail from 50 yards away?
Well, and how the DBs can't even breathe on a receiver. I don't know. It's a good thought. It's a good thing to think about, but I don't know. I don't think. Obviously, you can't answer it. So
No.
You can't be like, who would win, MJ or LeBron James? Where are you in that argument of GOAT? LeBron, is he?
Well, see, I hated LeBron until he came to the Lakers. Because I was a huge Kobe fan. I've always been a huge Lakers fan with Magic. I wasn't even a Chicago Bulls fan. I mean, I enjoyed what Michael Jordan brought to the game, but I hated him because he was out there competing against my Lakers.
So are you? So you're on the boat that Kobe should be up there on the GOAT.
Yeah, Kobe. There's no one that trained harder than Kobe. There's no one that approached the game outside of Michael Jordan the way Kobe approached the game. Maybe Russell Westbrook in this generation, because you can just see the fire and the passion that he plays with. But if you're talking about playing a one-on-one game, to me, it's if you have Michael Jordan and you have LeBron,
both in their prime,
I think it's whoever gets the ball first.
Yeah.
If you're playing a pickup game, 10.
It's apples and oranges to me, though.
Because it's like LeBron's going to do what LeBron does. He's going to take Jordan to the paint. Then Jordan's going to use his athleticism and all that if he gets the ball to, just to cut him up. So if you're talking one-on-one, who's the better player? I think it goes to LeBron.
I think LeBron is, I've said it and I'll say it again. I think the best NBA player of all time is Michael Jordan.
Agreed.
The best athlete to ever play basketball is LeBron James. There's a difference.
I'll go with that.
Yeah. I mean, LeBron is the better player.
He's just specimen. It's not even fair.
He's like a linebacker out there just playing basketball.
6'8", 270, runs a 4.5, probably has a 45-inch vertical. Look, take injuries out, because one, he's been healthy his entire career.
Right.
He would be even more dominant playing a tight end in the NFL. That wouldn't even be fair.
No.
Look at Jimmy Graham. He's 6'7", and not nearly as athletic as LeBron. You see LeBron whipping that basketball around like it's a damn pebble.
Yeah.
That wouldn't even be fair.
But who do I want to have the ball at the end of the game, tied game? LeBron or Jordan? I mean, you go Jordan. There's no hesitation. But better player, LeBron. I mean, he's just
It's just not fair.
well rounded. I mean,
yeah, he played in his prime. We're going prime. He could 1 through 5. He can guard anyone.
Yeah,
he shut down Derrick Rose.
And he can play the position 1 through 5 also.
Well, he does.
Which he's exactly
Jordan
like Magic.
couldn't.
Yeah, he's exactly like Magic Johnson, but better.
Well, yeah, Magic Johnson was 6'10" playing point guard.
Yeah, and then he played center for as a rookie in the NBA Finals. He could play position 1 through 5.
Roll Tide.
Yeah, roll Tide.
That's all I can say. Roll Tide. So this is the last episode of 2018.
Damn, I'm honored to be on here, Josh.
Yeah, last episode of 2018. I thought we could recap some of the things that went through 2018, and some annoying, some good, some random.
All right, starting with Bird Box.
No, we'll get into Bird Box. That's how it's effing everywhere. Go to data or whatever captured. This is North Korea's obsession. That was huge into the thing. One thing I get out of all of it isn't anything about... What's that noise? I get out of is why he got Kim Jong-un. You've seen this video of him running next. Why did he do that?
I mean, is it not already bulletproof, the vehicle?
Yeah, but I think this makes him look fancy.
Well, was maybe Dennis Rodman, like trying to get the guys in shape to go out
Probably
there and play a basketball game?
I don't know. I think that was one of the funniest things I've ever seen. Stan Lee died this year.
Yeah.
I hate how they add controversy to everything.
No more cameos. That's kind of suck.
I know,
You never
but
knew when he was going to
he dies, and they're like, "Oh, women came out and said he was sexually assaulted him or something like that." Blah blah. It just like let it go. A little too early. Kind of like when Kyler Murray won the Heisman. Some douchebag somewhere went out of his way.
Alabama fan.
I wouldn't be surprised. Went all the way back to when he's 14 years old. Some homophobic bullshit he said a long time ago. That's so stupid.
Think about it. I mean, how many dumb things have we done?
I've done a lot.
I mean, I mean,
on a daily basis.
It's you try to be good, but the way technology and I keep going back to technology, but the way everything is, I mean, everything can be. I felt like Emmerke today. Some dumbass cut out in front of me in Walmart, and I'm like, "What are you doing? I'm trying to get to a damn podcast." So I lay on the horn. I'm sitting here. Next thing I know, I'm sure that the damn thing's gonna end up in the Chelsea neighborhood watch. Hey, some asshole honk the horn. It's like, you should have cut me off.
Yeah, but you're at fault.
Yeah, but anything you can do now is can just be brought to light.
Oh, no doubt.
And it's and now you've got the Me Too movement. I mean, it's kind of hard to understand or know someone's character. I mean, are they really telling the truth? I mean, did Stan Lee do that?
Is their publicist trying to clear face? Like, you know what
exactly. I mean? And so it's tough because you don't want to get into the to the doubting movement. I mean, if someone comes out with an allegation like that, you've got to take it seriously until there's proof that it didn't happen. But I'm seeing a lot more. There's proof that it didn't happen.
Right.
So I mean, it's like.
And that's the point I was going to bring up. You can also not get mad at somebody for doubting them. And they're like, how could you doubt somebody? Why would you doubt somebody? It's because of all the false flag people come out and just
and it's supposed to be innocent until proven guilty. So I mean, it's but the way that the media is, they report it and boom, it's truth, and it's never going to be fair for whoever's trying to defend themselves.
There's no doubt.
It's irreparable damage.
It is.
Even if you're proven innocent, it's still going to linger.
I mean, it's like my grandfather told me, you can spend years and years and years to build character and a reputation, and
one second it's
and
gone.
It's gone.
Run for president.
Yep.
Yeah. Still get elected.
Everyone will love you. And all of a sudden, you're the big racist, a bunch of stuff you can't even pronounce or know what it means.
Xenophobic.
But you're a xenophobic, misogynistic.
I'll tell you this. If I wanted to run for president, I've got 1 year before I'm eligible. But if I wanted to run for president, I guarantee you I could make some noise. And I'm not saying I would get elected, but
I'd give him a run.
It would be hard not to vote for me.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
What a savage, man.
I mean, and it's...
You heard it here first. Josh Fox.
2020. Is it 20? Yeah, I could do it. 2020. Hell yeah. Let's get it started.
Let's do it.
I'm announcing on the Almost Legal podcast
my presidency
for 2020. I'm running as a libertarian, independent. So I can't be bought. Government's going to stay out of everything. Government's going to be shut down. It's going to stay shut down.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Here's what I'm going to say. I can be bought. And sign me up, man. If you want me to be your guy, I'll be your puppet, man. Just let me know.
Let's do it. The Josh and Josh show.
Yeah. No. Okay. And what about this wide neck guy? Y'all seen him?
Oh, my God. I love it. I love it.
I don't think I have.
Seen the wide neck guy?
Did you see him link with the long neck?
Yes.
Oh, wide neck.
Wide neck. He reminds me. They had this group of guys. I'm not going to name any names because they went to my high school. And it was literally a group of them that we called them the CNC, the Crooked Neck Crew. And it legit. This is
wide neck.
No neck.
Oh, you don't want no smoke.
No neck versus wide neck. Where did he come from? He became famous. He's on Joe Rogan's podcast. He's all kinds of stuff.
But see, that's the thing with technology, man. I mean, it's you do something.
It's wild, man.
He's so freaking skinny everywhere.
I only work out my neck, bro. I skip leg days and arms.
I love it.
I know, right? It's pretty baller. I'm excited about it. I don't know. It's crazy how you can just blow up from the stupidest stuff.
Yeah,
Another one that blew up in 2018. It pisses me off. Catch Me Outside chick, Bad Baby or whatever, selling records off the yin yang, or this chick who actually she fell apart quick because of. Remember her? Lil Tay. She's a flexer.
What on your mother?
You heard her. You heard her.
So,
So stupid.
Yeah, she's got buku monies, bro.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a thing. That YouTubers and like Jake Paul and Logan Paul. I think Logan Paul,
He's hot
last
shit.
the end of 17, kind of was doing what you do, but in a way, he was in the Suicide Forest and
That's
filmed a dead body.
Yeah.
And I mean, the thing about it is, look, especially in the funeral homes that are abandoned. I mean, I've come across many dead bodies.
Really?
Some that are fresh,
Okay, so I was
some that are
getting that,
bones.
What's the proper course of action you have to do in order?
It's tough, man. I mean, Memorial Mound that was here in Birmingham, the Bessemer area, had 9 bodies in there, ranging from a 6-month-old, on up to someone in their 70s. 9 bodies in there.
When you discovered it?
When I discovered it. So I go in there, I document the place, and realize because you smell something. It's like, yeah.
So it was
something's in
kind of
here.
recent when you discovered it?
This
or?
was 2000.
I'm talking about like
13.
when you went in there, the deaths, were they recent? Or
No,
were
I mean
they-
the place was shuttered in 2001. So I mean it was you're looking 9-10 years.
But do you have to explain why you're in there and
I mean,
remove yourself as a suspect because you
It's-
found 9 bodies?
it's a fine line that you have to walk. But the kicker is, look, I contacted the authorities. I said, hey, I was over here documenting the property. You got some dead bodies in here. Okay, great. We'll take care of it.
We'll
They didn't do
pencil you
anything.
in.
They didn't do anything. So it's like, went back there, bodies were there, except, there was a couple skulls missing, from people just taking stuff. Yeah. And hey, you still have some bodies in here. Didn't do anything. So it took, because look, something needed to be done. I mean, these people needed a,
proper burial.
proper burial closure. The families needed to be notified. So it took a video to the news, which I got a friend of mine that works in the news. And I was like, hey, you want to, let somebody know about all this. And, then action was taken. And then, the police wanted to say, oh, it's, we're coming after whoever it was that went in here. It's like, look, guys, it's has nothing to do with that. It's classified as a cemetery. So it's not like it's not like you were not supposed to be in there.
Right.
So I mean, there's that gray area that you can navigate through. But they were more concerned of covering their ass,
Right.
after the shitstorm that it created, than going after, some people. Because
that's how it works.
Yeah. I mean, there were hundreds of people that had gone in there, after I did. Yeah. And I mean, it was something else. I mean, just to see the place.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's gray area.
Yeah,
man.
it is a gray area. Well, he blew up from that, so.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't go Facebook Live, hey, taking selfies with the bodies or anything. Look, mom,
this guy.
look, mom, it's a dead body. You see it?
That's
I mean,
actually a
it's-
thing in Japan, the suicide forest.
Yeah,
Oh, I
that's
thought you
where-
meant selfies with dead bodies. I'm like,
that's where
I
what?
didn't know about it till this year when all that, or
Yeah,
whenever
yeah.
that happened.
Yeah, that's
That's actually on
I
my
heard about
bucket
it not too
list.
long before that, so I thought it was weird that he did that. I was like, is he stalking me? Like, I just watched tons of videos on this. No, and another thing that happened was that stupid Congress hearing with Zuckerberg and Facebook about so-called privacy.
Right.
So the people that are number one at invading our privacy is having this Facebook guy come in to pretend that they care about our privacy. And then there's a theory that
Can any customer amend your terms of service?
Isn't there a significant free market
And there's a
incentive
theory that,
a social media company, including yours,
he's a reptilian alien,
in
man.
order to safeguard the data?
Zuckerberg or the other guy?
Zuckerberg, dude. Look at him. This is just a compilation of him drinking water.
Or if
How
it was
weird
a
he is, dude.
fake Facebook
So
post of Chris Coons.
So you should do a
I
compilation.
went to the one they
you know.
suggested. It had a different middle initial. Than
So weird. Have you seen his seat he sits in? His
I
little
did.
booster
His
seat?
little booster seat, yeah. It's like my
Commercial
wife out there
predators
trying to
in-
drive with a.
Dude, he's a reptilian, dude.
Well, I know.
He's a reptilian.
But
What-
look, if you have Facebook, your shit's out there.
yeah.
So it's like, look, you either connect with the world, you try to build a brand, or you try to, interact with friends that you never see, or you go off the grid and, live in the forest. Look, your privacy's out there.
Yeah.
It's
But
like,
I guess it's the unknowingness that or the stuff they do with your information is the sketch stuff. Do you think it's a coincidence that the CIA was developing something similar to Facebook, kind of like Facebook? I forgot the program's name, but the day Facebook went public, they wrapped it. Think it's a coincidence? The day it went public.
It was going to serve the same purpose as
Same
Facebook?
purpose.
Yeah, so you think that maybe the CIA went in, hey, look, we'll fund.
This is
you
all
give some
smoke show,
information.
dude.
I mean,
They don't.
at the end of the day, how much do you really care?
Not much. If they want to get, if they
about
want to
you?
get,
If they want to get my information, there's nothing. that
yeah,
can
if they
stop
want to
them.
listen to any of our conversations, they could do that anytime they want.
They don't need
whenever they
Facebook to
want
do it.
Yeah, no.
So it's like,
It just makes it easy for them.
Then with
Right,
the
right.
advent of Alexa and all that shit, it's just making it more
Yeah,
accessible.
because then they're linking it with facial recognition, selling your data to Walmart and all this stuff.
yeah. But at the same time, it's like,
As long as you're not doing anything illegal, it shouldn't matter, really.
yeah. But even if you were, I mean, think about how many users are on Facebook. Do you think
A couple.
a couple, but it's like, me going out, hey, notifying the authorities, you got some dead bodies in here. You still have to have the local authorities, or you still have to have that local presence
Right.
to enforce it. I mean, unless it's, some terrorist out
Right,
there.
unless you're doing some real
plotting.
shady shit. That's where really it's all kind of boils down to.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just, I guess it gets scary in a way, but
Okay, so look, they sell your information to Walmart. Guess what? You were going to Walmart well before they sold the information. So what does it matter?
right.
Look,
Like I said, if you're not stealing anything, it doesn't really matter.
yeah, I mean, the stuff that you're looking up online, you see an ad for it. It takes like 5 impressions before you make a decision on something. So it's just basically going off your search history. So I mean, it's how, I don't know. I mean, I'm on the fence about it. I really don't care. It's like, oh, here's an ad of something that I was thinking about. Well, good. I'm going to purchase it and put money into the economy.
Well, you mentioned they'd sell it to Walmart, but there's places where you may not know who they're selling it to and may be beneficial or malevolent.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So, I mean, that's the other side of it. I mean, I'm on the fence too. I don't mind. They're going to get it regardless, but
Right.
I also like to have my own privacy. If I wanted to be private and not have anybody have my information, I want it to be that way.
Yeah, but it's like, okay, if you're out there searching for guns, and here's a place you didn't know sold guns, but they offer you a hell of a better price than Dick's Sporting Goods. It's like, hey, that's going to work out, but adversely, it's if you don't want the information out there,
Don't put it out there.
don't put it out there.
That's really what it comes down to.
I mean, it is, but they're going to find a way to get it somehow. Because I still get junk mail. Hey, come down to Kia.
Yep.
You're still going to get
You could open up a brand new email account and
Exactly.
a couple days later it's spam already somehow.
Yeah, I mean it's tough, man. I mean, because that's what technology is doing, and good or bad, I mean it's only going to continue to evolve and it's going to continue to grow. So do you just go off grid, or do you just roll with it and understand? Hey, look, I'm not really doing anything bad. Technology is not what scares me. Them selling information. I'll tell you guys what scares me. You want to know?
Sure.
That 23andMe.
I was just about to say that, man.
Okay, but I've watched Netflix and I've watched Making a Murderer.
Yes.
So if I go out there and I send my DNA to this place to tell me, something that I already know,
I'm white. Whoa.
yeah, I mean, okay, so
Who's
now
to say they're not going to keep just a tiny amount?
now
just
they have that
enough
DNA. So maybe if I do something on Facebook
to set your ass up.
and they set me up, that's what scares me is that 23andMe crap.
Just like that guy in California who sent his DNA into 23andMe and he got tied to like 20 murders.
Dang, I didn't hear about that.
You didn't hear about that?
No.
Hold on.
What's your belief? Do you think Stephen Avery did it? Or he was guilty to some extent? Or didn't do it at all?
I think he's guilty to some extent. I think Brennan, I don't think he...
Yeah, that was a coerced freaking interrogation, if anything.
I think Brennan may have knew about it. Did he participate, or did he have the capability of
don't think
understanding
he
what
did.
was going on? I don't think so. But at the same time, you have to look at it from this objective point of...
Okay, here it is.
Okay.
The website revealed a distant relative earlier this year that helped lead authorities to D'Angelo, who was arrested in Citrus Heights home on suspicion of conducting a reign of terror up and down California, including 12 homicides, 45 rapes, and more than 100 residential burglaries between 1976 and 1986.
Okay, but how can you, if you send that stuff in, I mean, they
That's
shouldn't
bullcrap.
be allowed to,
Right.
to use that as evidence, right?
Self-incrimination, yeah.
You know, 'cause
Fifth
I mean-
Amendment.
Yeah, I mean, you know,
Unless it's in the agreement that you know.
but what I want to know is, did he find out where his ancestors, where he came from? Forget about the murders. I mean, did he get what he paid for?
Probably.
You know, look, I spent $19.99 on this. I want to know who my damn great grandfather
Then all of
is.
a sudden you get a knock on the door and you're like, oh crap.
Are you dad?
Or what if
No,
what if the FBI brought him his results? It's like,
Surprise!
here's your ancestors, and you're under arrest.
Yeah, you actually killed your grandfather. I don't know if you knew about it or not.
What is this,
Did y'all,
Looper?
did y'all hear about the scientist who, or I guess genealogist, who can link all human history to two people like Adam and Eve? They kind of confirmed that after a catastrophic event. That was like a month or two ago.
There's got to be some beginning.
Yes.
You know, I mean, so I do believe, you know, that there were two people.
But what I don't understand, I can't comprehend, is how do they know it was after a catastrophic event just from DNA?
Because in all texts and all history, the flood's real. Like,
Right.
But how can you prove that through DNA is what I'm getting at. How do they know it was after a catastrophic
because he
event?
probably got back to based off the text from all these, you know, the Sumerians, the Bible, in Asia, they all had the same historical time frame of the great event, right? So he probably followed that lineage to that random time, and then that's probably where he was like, oh well, kind of dead ends in this one little area.
All right.
I get what you're saying, though. I mean,
No, I see what you're saying too. I
If they
just
were to find my
assume that's-
DNA 3,000 years from now, how would they know, oh, he died of a cataclysmic event?
I just don't understand how you get DNA from people in the past. Like, I feel like eventually you'd like kind of hit a dead end. So you don't have access to public record. It's not like they'd log that crap, you know?
that's true. A buddy of mine, he was exploring a jail, and
Like he was in jail or
no,
exploring at a jail?
at an abandoned jail.
Okay. he was in jail. He's just kind of rummaging
They
around.
had,
Prison or jail?
it was a jail, but they had rape kits still intact, all just boxes and boxes of evidence. So I'm like, all these cases are never going to get solved because it was just thrown and left in this prison or this jail that's abandoned. And I mean, it's sad to think that someone could either be in prison, you know, innocent, or the victim never got the justice because all this crap is just, you know, sitting in a storage.
There's no perfect judicial or anything system like that. So nothing will ever be perfect.
No,
But it is sad to think that some people are wasting their life in jail innocently and conversely living their life freely when they're guilty.
right.
Yeah.
And then there's evidence that can either, you know, prove or disprove.
quit, yeah.
And it's just, you know, sitting here in this jail that's, you know, been abandoned for 30 years.
Are you surprised, though,
No.
the way things have been handled in the past?
No.
I asked all my guests this, and you're going to be included. Did we go to the moon or no?
We did.
We did?
We did. I think, I mean, there's
Is there
other
any
things-
doubt in your mind that we didn't?
Oh, yeah, yeah. I mean,
Okay, I
there's
respect
always
that.
doubt.
Chris tried to look me in the face and said he had zero doubt. I'm like, bro.
No, I mean, you know, there's always doubt unless you have done it
Yourself, yeah.
yourself. I
Done
mean,
it yourself.
Right, right.
Or not, you had like a laundry list of things that were just sketchy and handled weird and missing in the evidence.
Some of the photos and everything that may be portrayed.
As real. Like I said, I could go, I
you
could
know,
say
I-
we faked the footage.
Yeah, yeah. I do think the technology is there to go to the moon. I do think that we went to the moon. But you also have to understand, look, it was a race. It was a race. So, I mean, it's like, did we really get there first? Or did we just, you know, shoot this in Hollywood and be like,
Right.
hey, yeah, we got there first, Russia. Sorry.
Because, like, what would make, like I said, it's my argument, and I'll stick to it. What makes more sense? Attempting to go, failing, and then getting beat, just outright getting beat, or just faking it?
Right. You know, but
and then planning on. I think I made this theory on accident. What was it? Was Apollo 13? Was when poop hit the fan?
I think so. Yeah.
I think that was our first attempt, and I accidentally tied this together perfectly because basically I was saying like all the things that had to go perfectly right to align perfectly. This needed to go
Laundry list of things.
You know, the lunar module never was flown before successfully. Their GPS never was invented, so they had to go off just the dude that was orbiting the moon.
Yeah.
So they had to time it perfectly to take off and meet up with them, and then they link up and go back home. Right, all that going in time. All the shit that could possibly have gone wrong went wrong in Apollo 13. And I thought maybe they did fake it. Maybe they had to fake it again because they had pressure to prove it again. I think maybe Apollo 13 was their first attempt to actually go.
I can see that. You know, I still think we originally went.
Why haven't we been back though? If we have that tech, had it then, why? If we still have it now, why have we not been back?
What's the point in going back, really?
Well, if you have plans to go somewhere else,
You've
then
got
you
Mars.
have to go there.
Well, I mean, no, you've got Mars now. Look, we've already done the moon.
Right, but scientists have
how much do we
already
explore. I mean, we explored
What's
a fraction of a fraction of the surface.
right. But the thing I'm saying is, that's an argument. Is there's no reason to go back. We found it's just a rock, right? But if we have plans to go elsewhere,
for an operating base,
it's been proven that we need somewhere to dock up to for more fuel, for things like that. So that's the reason, right there.
Exactly. That's what I'm getting at. There's a reason to go back.
I don't see it. I mean, I don't know.
Well, and a lot of it's too is the way our government.
It's the moon, I mean, that was so what 60s. Screw the moon. It's all about Mars now. Who cares about the moon?
We can't go to. We haven't been.
You're trying to take big steps instead of baby steps.
Right. It's roughly 237,000 miles away from Earth, allegedly.
But okay. So
measured it.
So what happens if we get out there and we moonwalk on Mars, and then we come out and say, "Hey, we didn't really go to Mars, or we didn't really go to the moon, but look, here's Mars."
They might do that.
Maybe they don't want to go back to the moon because they never went to begin with.
Yeah, that's the thing too.
Valid.
But no, I mean, I do think we went. I think there's nothing out there. I mean, it's a rock and it glows, and you can jump like super high. And I had some shoes, like in the early
moon
90s,
shoes?
the moon shoes.
Yeah.
Look, that's what we got from going to the moon. We got moon shoes, and we got a trampoline.
And we got the flexor,
Yeah.
flexor schwings.
I mean, it's the moon. It's not that interesting.
Yeah, I know, but
I still think,
like I said, that's 237,000, allegedly 237,000 miles away from us. We haven't been over 405 miles.
But it's the moon. Who cares?
But there's a lot in between 237,000 and 405 miles.
That's true.
Roughly
That's true.
where the ISS is.
I just look. It's everything is being technology is being put into Mars. Nobody cares about the moon.
Well, and like I said, a lot of it's done just the way politics are. We didn't. That's what bringing the private industry into this rocket building is done. We didn't try to make a rocket as fast and affordable and reusable. Before that, NASA, this is what they did. Basically, if you and him lived in Los Angeles, you wanted to fly to New York, I would buy you a Boeing 747. A few $100,000, maybe more than that. We'll dumb it down. We'll say a few $100,000, right? One-way ticket. After I dropped you all off in New York, I crashed the plane into the ocean. You needed a ride back. Bought you another Boeing 747. Flew you back, crashed it into the ocean. Each ticket probably cost you about a couple $100,000. Right. That's where my metaphor was going. How often would you fly? Not very much. Yeah. No.
Well, if it's not my money, I mean, I
see what I'm
fly pretty
saying?
often.
They built rockets to make
one and done
jobs. That's why each rocket costs millions upon millions.
It's the same thing with wars. I mean, it's like, hey,
war
we need
makes
to spur
money.
the economy. Let's go bomb somebody.
That's what we talked about that last week. The only reason we're in Afghanistan. Yep. The opium trade.
That's what I was about to say. A lot of people think it's oil. No, it's
opium and lithium.
Yep.
It's a big lithium output and opium. And you can argue with me all you want and say I'm a tinfoil hat conspiracy theorist, but when it goes from 9% of the world's opium supply to 93% of the opium supply under U.S. control.
It's not coincidental.
Look, it's like Ron Paul has said, before. I mean, Ron Paul was who I voted for, not Rand Paul, Ron Paul, the godfather of the libertarian movement. Look, Afghanistan's not the first time that we've rearranged and reorganized, borders to get something that we need. I mean, it's been done with oil, like I said, in Afghanistan, the lithium, the opioids, and it's going to continue to happen. I mean, as soon as we discover, that there's someone out there.
Our new public enemy number one.
Right. And I mean, is that, what are your thoughts on it?
Well, you could say, like I've been saying it for a while, like North Korea, not a threat.
No.
I don't know why we wanted to deal with that anyway. We just needed a public enemy. I honestly think that we've created ISIS just to prolong our stay in that area.
Yeah. I wouldn't disagree.
There's a heavy amount of evidence to prove that maybe that's just a big CIA psyop or something. For one, we were warned that what happened would happen. We pulled out of Iraq. They immediately went in, robbed other banks, found the weapons of mass destruction that didn't exist, apparently, that Bush was talking about, which I think was because I'm not, when you get into 9/11, I'm not leaping and crazy, is a hologram, the planes never even hit it, blah, blah. No, if anything happened differently than what they are telling us that they're knowingly keeping from us, it's a conspiracy.
And we don't even know half of what happened on 9/11. I mean, there's just so much. I mean, you can go on YouTube and just see the early stages of stuff that was going on. People knowing stuff, but then later it's reported as something else.
And people think they debunk one thing. It's
Sounded like
debunk
bombs
the
going
conspiracy
off.
theory. Yeah. Countless interviews of that. And the fact
From
that
firefighters, police officers.
right. And the fact that people don't your average Joe doesn't even know about Building 7. They think 2 buildings fell in New York that day.
3.
There's 3. And I heard this on a podcast probably about 6 months ago, and I never really thought about it like this. There's actually interviews of them saying they just had to pull it on Building 7. Because just like I can, they say it didn't hit the temperature to melt steel. Okay, I can get on your level that says, okay, it got hot enough to weaken the structural integrity of the steel, right? Okay, even though it evenly did it.
Look, planes hit the towers. Is that what brought it down?
No.
That's up in
They
the
were
air.
built specifically to withstand.
Right. Okay. Well, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Right. No plane hit Building 7, but it fell the exact same way.
Yeah.
So the thing I heard on the podcast was if one of them was wired to blow, they all were.
Right. Now, was it the government or was it
Yeah, do you
ISIS?
think we solely did it ourselves, or we played a part, or we had no role?
I don't know, man.
I would like to think that we played no part in it.
Well, hopefully.
I don't think we solely did it on ourselves. It was our false flag, but I don't want to believe we had a role.
Could it have been
Well,
an inside
that would-
job from
if that-
maybe some rogue
if
politicians?
if that conspiracy is true, then a lot of the shady, dark shit that everyone thinks is crazy going on now is true. That's the thing with all these new political conspiracy. If one's true, they're all true.
Yeah.
Because that means there are forces at play that's dark, it's out for world domination and
Shadow
stuff like
government.
that. Yeah, it's crazy. But one argument also place is the same type of plane hit the
Out
trade
in the-
centers as it hit the Pentagon, correct?
Yeah, where are the plane parts? Same as out in the
Well, that
field.
too,
There's
but-
no plane.
But that too. What was NIST reason why not the trade towers fell? Primarily due to jet fuel, correct?
That's what was reported, yeah.
Where's the jet fuel in the Pentagon?
And how is it strategically placed where that 1.3 million or trillion, whatever was?
Did you watch that?
Yeah.
You watched that, didn't you?
I
I see you.
yeah.
You do
It
know
was
more.
just like out of a whole Pentagon, just that one certain area, and the plane knew.
Well, that one. What are you familiar with? What he's talking about?
Yeah. I mean, I watch YouTube
Yeah.
on it, I mean, a lot.
Well, if you're not familiar, that one section of the Pentagon just went undergo some construction to reinforce it, which one made it strong enough to take it to where it would minimize the damage. 2, what would be
Stored
thousands
there.
of employees was only a couple hundred. And 2, the hole was perfect, and like on the second floor there was like an untouched bookcase with a book open on it. But that's the same plane that hit the trade centers that burned for how many months did that
Textbook
burn?
bomb explosion.
But how many months did the trade centers burn? It was like melting firefighters' boots and stuff.
I mean, it was a long time.
It's just look, I don't like to be a little. I just don't understand how people can just like look at it and just be like, well, yeah, that's what they
The
said.
thing that makes me most
That
believe
happened.
that there
Like,
is,
ask them questions, man.
Right.
the thing that makes me most believe that there is a conspiracy to it is those planes, quote unquote, that did crash into the Pentagon and out in the field. Where the hell is there one shred of a plane?
Right.
If a plane crashes on the ground, you're going to have shrapnel. You're going to have pieces everywhere.
And the only parts of a plane that they found was a piece of engine that fell like miles away.
That's what makes me believe that we had some role. Because we wouldn't put that narrative that a plane landed right here, but where's the fucking plane?
Well, the people that think our government wouldn't do that, let's go back to the 60s again, which I say, think of all the crazy crap that happened in America.
Okay.
All the things that happened, all the major things that happened in the U.S. history happened under that same core group of people that were in the Central Intelligence Agency, the FBI. Think about it. Starting World War II,
Gulf of
there's
Tonkin.
there's evidence that we knew before Pearl Harbor. We allowed it to happen to get us into the war. We in the last document dump for the JFK files, we found out Hitler was actually alive in Argentina. Yeah. So that was the same people, because Hoover spent millions of taxpayers' money looking for him after.
Did you ever watch Finding Hitler?
Yeah.
Yeah.
JFK assassination, MLK assassination, the Gulf of Tonkin, the moon landing. The list goes on. All during that same people. And that's what I got from the JFK files. Of course, I didn't get anything new about the JFK assassination. I saw a pattern happening.
Right.
On all the shady shit that everyone has a conspiracy theory about in the U.S. history, it was all handled the exact same way. Sprinkles of information. They get called out on their bullshit, and then they just kind of put out some more evidence, not to where you can't really prove it, you can't really disprove it at the same time. All American conspiracies are the exact same. Think about it, though. It is. 9/11, same way.
Right.
You know there's something there, but you can't and you won't find out about
Like
it.
if you non-conclusive evidence.
So here's
Just
something.
enough.
Did the government invent AIDS?
I don't know. Like my favorite comedian says, it just pops up in the 80s randomly, and it only affects things that old white
men.
people hate.
Yep.
Right. I mean,
Black people, gays, junkies. I don't know. It's crazy.
it's kind of scary.
It is scary to think about. But the reason I brought up the 60s thing is people think our government wouldn't do that. Operation Northwoods. They actually planned it. They drew it up. The Joint Chiefs of Staff and all of them wrote up a plan to perform false flag attacks, load up a plane filled up with people they know strategically to make it look legit, take off, land it, take off with like a remote plane, shoot it down over Cuba and blame it on Cuba. And also plan attacks on U.S. soil and blame it on Cuba to provoke America to go to war with Cuba. But JFK didn't sign off on it.
That's why he got assassinated.
Yeah. And a lot of people don't know this. People that called, a lot of people, my dad included, think he was just another bleeding heart liberal. The Bay of Pigs, they thought he was just a pussy, right? Do you know why he backed out on the Bay of Pigs? Because he found out they had plans to assassinate Fidel Castro, and he wasn't game for that. So he didn't back him. That's why. So that's when he fired the CIA guy, right? He gets assassinated. Lyndon Johnson appoints him to be the head of the Warren Commission.
So you think Johnson was in on the assassination?
I'm not the only one.
Oh, I mean, I've been banging that drum.
Jackie Kennedy and his brother hired French private investigators to investigate Lyndon Johnson.
Right. And I mean, you just look at the pictures, like when he's being sworn in.
He was a shady asshole.
Yeah, I mean, you can just tell. It's like, look, this dude knows something.
Well, they had him by the balls. He was facing like a
Yeah.
3 manslaughter thing, involuntary manslaughter charges. And he pardoned himself when he became president.
How can you pardon your own damn self?
You're president.
I mean, that's,
What the fuck?
look, when I run in
You're the
2020,
president.
It's like a conflict of interest.
when I run in
can do it.
2020, look, everything. We're going to go to Area 51. We're going to find out what's there. We're uncovering what happened with 9/11.
I don't think
Kennedy.
what happened at Area 51 is still there. They've probably made a new base.
It's in Utah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But still, I get what you mean.
Look, I'm
Or
the
in
president.
Ohio or
Look,
something like
I'm
that.
the president. We're going to find that shit, and we're going to bring it on the podcast. And that's
Do
what's
it.
going to happen.
Do it.
Bring an alien on here. Do you believe
No.
in aliens?
I do.
I do as well.
I do. I've actually have several friends that they run a Bigfoot.
That's my dream job, man. Chupacabra and Bigfoot.
So yeah, let me tell you guys a story. When I was about 13 years old, do we have time for a story?
Go ahead, man.
Okay. We were over Panama City Beach, and on the horizon, 7 spherical objects in the ceiling, or in the sky. Every single one that's on the balcony, they go to get their cameras, video recorders. There were no cell phones at the time. Not a single one of those would work. In the blink of an eye, boom, they were gone. Now everybody's going to say, oh, military, yada, yada. Look, this was something that was supernatural.
Were they acting independently or as a uniform object?
They appeared uniformed, and then they left uniform. And I mean, it was blink of an eye, like,
Didn't have time.
yeah. But back to Bigfoot, look, we've explored the majority of
Continental U.S.
the continental U.S. The space, we can't explore that. The depths of the ocean, we can't explore that. We've explored pretty much every single place of the world that's above sea level. I don't think Bigfoot is an animal. I don't think Bigfoot is a living being. I believe Bigfoot is something spiritual, something that's supernatural.
Well, it's in Native American text.
That's what Stuart Swerdlow, that rabbit hole you put me down, he says it's an interdimensional being, not like an Alex Jones type outlandish shit, but it's an interdimensional being.
Oh yeah, I threw him in the middle of a rabbit hole, but yeah, he was in the Montauk Project.
Okay.
The guy
okay.
he's talking about.
Gotcha.
So he was telling you about all these crazy stuff, and like how Project Bluebeam or something, where CERN, CERN?
Yeah.
They're planning an alien false flag attack based off shooting projections off of the something sphere, one of the layers of the atmosphere. I saw that. And that's the reason I shared it to him, because a week or two prior, I saw this article on how the UN by 2030 or 2020, 2030 want to have a one world government. And I was like, how are we going to do that? We can't even get our country to come together as one. How are we going to get the whole world, right? And then I see this. I'm like, that's how.
Makes sense. Yeah.
That's how.
Gotta come together.
Hitler had the exact same plan
Yeah.
to do the exact same thing, knowing that they were the only ones that had the firepower to compete with alien invasion
To monopolize
that
it.
would come together.
Do you think maybe ISIS was created to be that alien, and people didn't come to that, so now they've got to...
Maybe. I think it was more
don't
of selfishness on America's part on that. But
He
yeah.
also says that the Fourth Reich will come out of Antarctica after that false alien invasion.
Yeah. That's if you go in Africa, there's actually like old folklore or whatever. Like the prophecy in Africa.
Yeah,
They'll tell you that the Fourth Reich will come out of the ground when a sign or something comes up. They firmly believe that. So I don't know.
It's interesting.
There's no telling how wide the Nazi regime's reaches went.
I could still go for them being active, but not as a dominant role. That they're still in the rebuilding process
Well,
and
they
waiting
had
for that one moment.
they had a lot of financing from U.S. companies that no one talks about. So it's a different story, different episode, different story. We'll talk about that. I go balls deep and all that. But yeah, Josh, thanks for coming on the show.
I enjoyed it, guys.
Anything you want to talk? Anyone you want to plug?
Yeah, I want to plug my good friend Bigfoot and his crew, the Alien Space Invaders. No, I don't want to plug anybody. Appreciate you guys having me on.
Not a problem. Thanks for coming on.
Before we quit, let's run down playoffs. Who do y'all have? Playoff, semifinal, and final.
College football.
Yeah.
It's going to be Alabama over Oklahoma. It's going to be 72-45. Alabama, 72-45.
Beat down. All right. Clemson, Notre Dame.
Clemson, Notre Dame. It is going to be 21-3. Clemson.
I'm more on board with that.
I don't have teams yet, but I have scores.
Alabama.
45-21. And then 31-20.
Alabama takes the national championship, and they take that with a score of 48-14.
Jesus. Cheez-Its, man.
Ooh.
Roll Tide.
Raven Nation,
I'd like to
baby.
shout out my boy
Bold.
Tua Tagovailoa.
Vailoa.
Whatever.
Whatever.
He's, Jalen Hurts,
Go on, Jalen.
Go on, Jalen.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my scores. You heard it here. Don't forget, 2020,
presidency.
vote for
Yep.
me. It's going to be a Josh and Josh team up, and we're going to expose everything that you guys want uncovered.
Yeah. That's what we're going to run on. No
That is-
secrecy.
Yep.
The veil will be lifted. The people will have a voice. But hey, if you like what you heard, please go rate and subscribe on iTunes. Give us a nice 5-star review. Also go on YouTube, hit that bell icon, and subscribe. You can interact. Your comments will pop up on the screen. If you donate, you will get it to spin a wheel. You will get merch. You'll get it all. But you got to do it on YouTube. Facebook doesn't count.
It's not free, guys. We got to have support.
And we're going to be getting merch soon, so keep your eyes out on that. And if you have any requests for content on the show or you want to be on the show, just email me at almostlegalpodcast@gmail.com. And until next week, guys, I'll see you.
Peace.
Peace.
Yeah, I think we killed it.
I'm bringing it to you. Calm down. There you go.